Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Hendo's Hot Topics. First and foremost, I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for being patient with me while I took a break that I really needed, which I didn't realize I needed. But the plan is to get back into podcasts on a more regular basis at the start of midway of March. I'm going to get back into it. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's happened since we last spoke properly, and I want to really focus this episode around the topic of the way you perceive yourself, because the other day I had my first real encounter with body dysmorphia, and I really want to talk to you about it and talk to you about the conversations I've had with some people around it, and hopefully make you realize that it's more than normal and more than okay to go through it. So, first of all, let's talk about what's happened since we last spoke. So, I saved up some money and I upgraded. So now I have two cameras. I have this camera here, which you're watching through now, that will get myself and the guest. And I have this camera here. So when a guest comes on, I'm going to put this camera over here, and it'll be facing the guest, just for those golden nuggets of wisdom and knowledge that they share. So that's really exciting. In terms of the HHT space, so I'm quite happy where we are at the moment. So I am hopefully thinking of moving into a bigger studio space, so to speak, around the end of this year, if it all goes to plan. Because at the moment I've got two big studio lights. All my photographers and videographers will know I've got two big box lights, soft lighting boxes, and I've got two cameras on two tripods in the corner of my room. But the good thing is I feel really comfortable and really confident in here, so it's good. I am blessed to have the studio, which I've had interviews with the likes of Shane Young, Will Thomas from Saatchi, and Jay Reeve from The Rock, which I can use every now and again when it's free. So very fortunate with that. And I want you to keep your eyes peeled for the next coming weeks, maybe next month or so. My good friend Roz actually blessed me with the foam roller bottle from Refresh and Recover, her brand, a day or two before I did the 24-hour walk a couple years ago for I'm Hope, and I've used it since then. So she's given me 5 to give away to you. So here it is here, a foam roller flask, absolutely amazing thing, especially if you're an athlete, if you're trying to become active, if you suffer from shin splints or really tight muscles after maybe a little workout. It's so good. This really helped me with my shin splints because it's a foam roller, but you can apply force with your hands rather than having a traditional foam roller where you have to roll and it's quite awkward. This comes on a solid bottle where you can use it yourself. So I'm going to have 5 of these to give away to you guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Absolutely amazing person, Roz is. Refresh and Recover. She does amazing work there. And yeah, amazing product, amazing message, amazing person. It's just amazing. So keep your eyes peeled for that sucker. Hashtag who are you? So that's been going as we speak for, I'm recording 20 days, day 20 as we speak now. So happy with how that's coming along. It's amazing to be able to show you day in, day out my real vulnerable days, and just show to you that not every day has to be perfect and amazing. The thing I'm finding really good about it personally is sitting down and actually really thinking about something that was a challenge or a small win. Because I guess from day-to-day life, we like to celebrate, or we focus on the big events that happen day-to-day. We don't really focus on the small things that happened. Maybe the things we don't really realize got us in a bad mood or made the day really hard. The small challenges or the small wins that we feel good, but we don't know why we feel good. So it's really good to indicate and speak on those small challenges and small wins. So I'm really happy with hashtag who are you. I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the year. If you haven't caught up to it yet, if you're not too big on social media and you listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, what I'm doing is it's a mini series. It is a mini series where each day I take you. It's more of a day in life, but it's a mini series, and I want to call it hashtag who are you. Each day you throughout the day you film little segments, and at the end of the day you sit down and you recap on the small challenges and small wins that made you of the day. So hashtag who are you. Day 20 so far, and I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the year. I might even make it a full-time thing, so keep on doing it. But I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the year, which I find really interesting. So we're well into the double digits now. Really happy with that. Now I want to talk about the likes of body dysmorphia and when you run into negative perceptions of yourself. So I've started to take my health under control again. Over COVID, I spoke about it a couple of times. I put on a lot of weight and I became very unhappy. Now, you may not be able to see it on camera, but around here and on the left side of my hips as well, I've never shown it apart from my partner, is I've got really bad stretch marks here, which make me really self-conscious. Now, it was hard to find the motivation again. A lot of you will understand when I say, when you spend so long working for something and you obtain it and you lose it again, it's so demeaning to have to do it again, because you know how long and hard you worked for it. So it was really hard to get back and get my health under control, especially after losing football. That was a big part of my life. After losing that, it was really, really hard to sit down, focus, and get my body and health under control. But I've started to do it now, nearly 3 months under my belt consecutively, and I'm really stoked. The reason I want to talk about this is I had my first real run-in with it. Now, I've had my run-ins in the past, but it wasn't as I would like to say ruthless as the other day. So I was at the gym after a couple of days off, and I was in the toilet. And whenever I go to the gym, I go into the toilet, and I use it as like a time to mentally prepare myself, especially when there's lots of people there. Mentally prepare myself, remind myself what I'm there to do today, and get ready, get hyped, get psyched. So I went to the gym and I stood up and I was getting changed out of my work uniform into my gym clothes. I looked at my body and I went, wow, like I spent nearly 3 months and I don't see any real results. So the gym, the workout went on, and I was halfway through, and I looked at myself and I changed my mindset. I looked at myself in my mirror and I said, nah, you know what? This shirt's baggier on you and your shorts looking bigger on you. And I remembered why I was there and what I was there to achieve, and why I had to keep going. Why I started, my why. And I went to the toilet after, looked at my reflection in the window, and I saw a huge change. A really big change from an hour before to an hour later. And I wanted to speak about this because I actually spoke to my mate Zion, who I was fortunate enough to come across a couple of weeks ago when he reached out to me after posting one of the first episodes of #WhoAreYou. When I spoke about the body dysmorphia issue a couple of days on day 18, it really struck me. And he actually messaged me before, and he said, it's really, he's dealt with it as well, and it's really easy to have to run into body dysmorphia, especially when you're actively trying to change your body. And because I put on a lot of weight and I'm nowhere near as lean as I used to be, I think I look at my stretch marks and I look at my my smaller thigh gap and tighter clothes now with I want to say envy it. I really envy the fact that I allowed myself to get to this point. And I think that comes a lot from our society. It is really nice to see a lot of, especially models, male and female models, showing that as soon as those cameras are off, as soon as they're off the runway, as soon as they've taken that photo for Instagram, that their body is just like everyone else's. It's not toned 24/7. Their curves aren't like stereotypically perfect 24/7. That we all just have the same bodies. Now, when I started my journey again, my weight journey, I found myself taking photos probably every 3 days, every 2-3 days, and I started getting frustrated because I'm like, there's no results. Why is nothing happening? Now I take a photo maybe once or twice. I'd say I've taken a photo maybe once every 2 weeks, once every 1.5 weeks, and I realize that's the healthy way to do it. Creating that spot break where you get more realistic change, more time to see realistic change, rather than every couple of days there will be change, but it won't be to your perception. Because I said to my partner the other day after the gym that we see our bodies every day. And we see our bodies every day. We look down and we're like, you see the depth, you see the shadows, you see your curves, and to someone else they'll be like, holy crap, man, or dang girl, you've lost a lot of weight, and you're like, no, I haven't, because you see your body every day, and even though you're making those amazing changes, you won't notice it, because you'll be seeing it while your body's changing, but you won't pick up on them. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it is so common. So common. I have mates who are trying to bulk. They got really fast metabolisms and they're getting frustrated body dysmorphia because they want to bulk, but they can't, so they're constantly really lean, or like myself, I want to get lean again, but I can't seem to lose the weight easy. It happens on all aspects of the spectrum. And you're not alone. The biggest thing I found was starting at the gym again was comparing myself, and you get a bit, it gets a bit daunting. You see all these guys and girls with amazing physiques, and I want to have a physique like them. But you got to realize they've spent so many months and years working for that physique. So I use it now as comparing, being like, I wish I had, to motivation. Being like, okay, looking at what he's doing, the workouts he's doing, but okay, I can incorporate that. Looking at his form, can I improve on that? Rather than making it negative, making it a positive. How can it help me evolve and become the person I want to be and get my health under control? Now, I'm really happy that unfortunate football the opportunity has resurfaced after so many years of not being able to play it. It's weird now because last time I played, I was 17, turning 18 last year. High school, was playing at high levels, school and club, and I was one of the young bucks. And now COVID's happened, and I've aged. I'm now one of the old boys. So I've had some good chats with the coach. Everything's good at the moment. Everything seems to be going well. Personally, I just have to keep on working at it so I can prove why I should be here over the young bucks, and putting the young bucks in their place and showing what I worked so hard for prior to COVID, bringing it up now. I had a chat with my mate Guy from Right Mate on a live a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about my goals. So on my whiteboard, if you haven't heard me say it before, I've got a whiteboard up here in the corner of my room, and half the whiteboard is dedicated to the podcast goals, and half the whiteboard is dedicated to personal goals. And I have some quotes on there which I'll touch on. One of my goals before I changed it was survive 2023. And when I spoke to Guy about this, he goes, Hendo, well, why is it survive 2023? And I said, I don't know. I don't really know. And he to summarize it, he said, why put survive? It means you're preparing yourself for bad things to happen to you and come your way. Why prepare yourself for that? Why not put thrive? Live in the moment, live in the now, enjoy the year, and bring in the good. And it's interesting because after I had a chat with him, I thought about it. I put survive 2023 up there because I was already predicting this year to be like last year. So at the start of this year, I struggled really hard with trying to figure out how I was going to one up myself from last year. They always say you should be your harshest critic, and it's true. I'm my harshest critic. So last year, obviously, I did amazing things, accomplished so many amazing goals and milestones, spoke to so many amazing people, and I said, okay, how am I going to one-up myself this year? And I was on a stump. I was even, second-guessing myself, second-guessing the podcast, if it was worth it, yada, yada, yada. And I sat down, took my whiteboard off the wall, sat down, I wrote my goals out. And I realized the issue was that last year, I set goals, and a lot of them weren't realistic enough. I was going to have to wish upon a star for them to be able to achieve them. And I will say it did keep me very hungry. It kept me very hungry. So the only thing I did this year was I made more realistic goals that were going to make me work for them, keep me hungry, but were very obtainable. So for example, on the podcast side, I have be more consistent, set up a website. Something like setting up a website. Once you break it down, it's probably only a couple of hours worth of work to make a simple website. It's obtainable, it's realistic, but it keeps you hungry because once you've done the website, you go, okay, what can I do now? Oh, what else can I do now to make it better? I can do this to the website. Oh, what have they got? Okay, that looks nice. I'll do something similar. It's making you want to do more for yourself and evolve and keep growing. So something like buying a new camera. I've been wanting to do that for a while now, and it was realistic. It was obtainable. Obtainable, and I did it, and it's made me hungry. Now I've got a new camera. It goes, okay, now what can I film now? Oh, okay, I can have better quality. I want to do more podcasts now because they'll look better and all that sort of thing. So you got to do small habits and able to obtain the bigger goals. That moves me on to my next point. So I have a quote up there, and it's the person in 5 years is a result of the person today. Or you might have heard the result of you today. So the person in 5 years is a result of the person today. What that means is the small changes and your routine, your habits now will impact who you are in 5 years' time. So I like to call it the snowball effect, and you've probably heard it so many times. Wake up tomorrow, instead of getting out of bed and leaving it messy, make your bed first thing in the morning, or even the night before. Make your lunch for the next day. Create those small changes and habits so the person in 5 years is someone you're going to be proud of. The other one I have, which has helped me a lot, is when you are tired and can't give any more, only realize you're 40% done. So when you're tired and you can't give any more, only realize you're 40% done. I heard this a couple of years ago when I was running. I think it was like 7Ks or something. Achilles was tight, calf was cramping, and I heard it while I was listening to my motivational speeches, as everyone does when they're working out. And it made me think of this. 40%. So we'll use this at Red bottle, for example, right? So it's 100%. You're working out, you're going for a run. 40% is that much. You have all of this left to give. So when you're tired and you think you're at 100% and can't give any more, you still have 60% left in you. You have 60% left in your tank to give. So when you're tired and can't give any more, remember that you're only 40% done. So remember, you've still got 60% left of that bottle to fill up. That quote can speak, whether you're in the gym, whether you're going for a run, whether you're in real life. If something hits you hard and you feel like you're done, only remember that you're 40% done. You still have 60% left to give to reach your full potential. So it was really interesting talking to Zion about that and reading it, because it proved my point that it is so normal to perceive yourself negatively and compare yourself to others, especially when you're working hard to better your health, and it's so easy. But you just have to remember why. And once you reach your goals, you're going to look back and be so glad that you continued and you didn't let those subtle changes that you don't see stop you. Now, 2022 was an amazing year, and I'm so grateful and thankful for all the lessons I was taught and knowledge that I gained and people that I met and conversations I had. This year, I'm very excited for it. I'm in the mix of trying to get funding from the Mental Health Foundation of New Zealand to travel the country and continue talking to schools. I'm at that age now. It's a real pinnacle age where and it was shown in the impact I had in some school kids last year. I'm at the age where when you're a kid, you're cool. You're a cool adult. And the best thing to do when a cool adult is to teach good. Now, I go to primary school kids and talk to them about going into intermediate, I talk to them about it's okay to feel you're sad, that if you want to cry, have a cry, if you're mad, to release it, to shout into a pillow and release it, and know that your friends have your back and that there's always someone there to help you. I share a bit of my story and tell them that I wish I knew that at their age, and this is why I'm telling them, because later on it fueled up and like Dom Harvey said, it was stuck in a dirty gym bag for all those years, and I didn't know how to let it out until it got too late. Now, I talked to intermediate kids going into high school saying, you may be separated from your friends that you've been with for the past 8 years, that you may find yourself having to make new friends, that you may find yourself having to do and try new things, and that is okay. It is a time for you to make mistakes and to learn and try new things and find out who you are and figure out where you want to go. I talk to high school students about to go into real life and saying, hey, if your mates are going to uni next year, you don't have to go to uni. If your friends are going clubbing every week, you don't have to go clubbing every week. You don't have to do things just because others are doing it. Take a year off after high school. Live life, experience life, and figure out what you really want to do. There's no point going to university doing something just because you want to do it, and rather than taking a few years off, traveling the world, experiencing life, and going to university when you know what you want to do, instead of doing it just because you want to do it, or your mates are doing it, or you want to be in the same class as them, so forth. So it's really important, and I really, really want to work to get funded to be able to go across the country and push those messages and maybe even create and speak at some events to really target the young tamariki and the future generations. no matter what age, there's always a message that needs to be heard and someone that needs to be seen, heard, and feel validated. All that anyone wants in life is to feel validated and to feel accepted. So that's the goal for this year. Going to continue evolving as a person, evolving the podcast as a platform, as a community. I'm excited. I'm trying so hard to get this website done so I can get the new shirts underway. So how that's going to work is a pre-order system. So I'm going to set up the website, and for a certain amount of time you can go in there, and if you want to buy one, you buy your size. And once the cutoff date comes, I'm going to use all the money that's accumulated from it and get the shirts. So it's pretty much whoever pays for a shirt gets a shirt. That's exactly what it is. So I'm very excited for that. I'm just happy to be back. I found myself making excuses, just as we all do. I'll do it next week, and I decided today, I'm going to do it. So I've done it. I'm feeling really good. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. So as always, do what makes you happy, do what you know is right, and do what you need to do for you. I love you very much, and I'll see you in a very short time. Goodbye. Love is lost, but